Hey everyone, hopefully having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you guys are looking for undervalued investment opportunities, definitely click subscribe. I've got a whole bunch here. This is energy service companies. I went fishing, gone fishing. I went fishing in oil and gas. I didn't limit myself to exploration or energy service companies, but there's a lot more energy service companies in this presentation. There's a couple exploration. And I'm just looking at just flat out charting. All right, nothing else. I didn't do fundamental analysis behind it. But I'm also going to go over a couple of examples of why I chose some of the companies I did in my original investments, like SM Energy, CDEV, CPE, and the one that got away. I charted it out. It looked great. I put it in my phone on my watch list and never bought it. And it's going vertical. It's the one that got away, guys. It's the one that got away. So let me jump in here. We'll do some analysis. First, I'm going to go over, and again, this is not financial advice. It's just financial education. You guys are going to have to do your own due diligence, do further research into these companies. I'm just doing the technical analysis, the first step of it. And I'm going to go over some examples of what I was looking for, and then I'm going to apply it to energy service companies. So let's jump in. So this is oil and gas by Finding Value, or FV. Now I'm going to go over some ones and why I chose them. So if you look at SM Energy, this thing tanked like a beast. I'd say at about $32, it just went down massively, all the way down to $1. And what this is this is a short squeeze. They're shorting the heck out of this. They think this company is going to go bankrupt. And then what happened is you get this large, big move back and up. And I loaded up right in here because I saw how fast this decline was, which usually means that you can go on the upside on the right-hand side just as fast as it came down. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that move come up just as fast. And I think it has a good spot of getting to like this 32 area pretty quick. And then it's going to be a struggle after that because there's a lot of buyers and sellers, and it didn't really just fly down. It took a little bit longer. So it may get to $32 pretty quick, and then it's going to struggle, I think, for the rest of the way, and then have to break its high back here. But we'll see. I don't want to say that because the supply-demand fundamentals in oil are jacked up, and we could see a move over the next couple of years that does some crazy stuff. So this is one of the reasons why I purchased this, is because of the chart, because how many short sellers were in this. And I figured that the short selling covering on this side would be pretty dramatic, and it was. Now, when you start looking at these, you can see why I chose some of them. This is Centennial Resource Development. From here, this is about $23, $24, $22 up here, and it just tanked. I mean, literally in 2 years, about 1.5 years, it went all the way down to pennies. From $22. And I have a feeling that this is going to go all the way back up to $22 pretty quick, maybe in a year and a half. It's possible. It might not. It might take longer. It's just I think it's a good setup. So I bought a lot. All in here is where I bought when it took off. And these are just examples. This is why I'm choosing these. CPE, I'd say from this blue line, it really just fell down the entire way. So again, a year and a half at $120 and went all the way down to $5. I think that it's possible to go from $5 to $120 pretty quick. And then I think you're going to run into some resistance up here. But it could even go past that. It could go all the way up to this up here, $280, $300, and do it in a time frame that's very reasonable. I'm not saying that you guys should buy this at this price, but this is what I look for. Are these big, large sell-offs. And then I think the right-hand side could be just as quick moving on up. So that's what I was looking for. And then the one that got away was Silverbow Resources. I saw it like in here. It was right here. That's where I saw it. It was like just 2021, under $6. It was kind of doing this pattern. I was like, oh, maybe I should buy it. And then I totally forgot about it. It was in my phone. Didn't even think about it. And look at this thing go. It went from $6 to $25 in no time. And if you see how fast this declined here, this was a perfect setup to be doing this because it basically mirrored this side on this side. It's a very close mirror. And what an opportunity here for people getting in down here. Very good move. So now what I'm looking at is I'm looking and trying to apply some of these charts. They're not going to be as dramatic because when I was looking at them before, I didn't see anything as dramatic as these. So looking at Helix Energy Solutions, this looks pretty good. The only thing is this thing going to break to the upside or is it going to break back down? I'll show you the next chart what this looks like. But we're creating this massive, massive pattern all the way back into the early 2000s. Now, I'm going to pop out here really quick. The projected move on these is gigantic from these patterns. So what you do is you go from the bottom here to the top, and then you project this from a breakout. So if it breaks out over here or something, that's your projected move. It could go all the way back to basically its high, 40 or 50 bucks. So this here could be a good value for an investment. That's Helix Energy Solutions. Now, if I zoom kind of in a little bit, this is what it looks like when you chart it out. You get these patterns and they break down, pattern breakdown. Now, is this going to break to the upside or the downside? I don't have the answer for you. It hasn't broken out yet. And remember, these charts look different. And some of these energy solution companies, they basically don't control their own destiny. The exploration companies, they can cut back spending. They can stay afloat because they sell oil. These guys are a little more reliant on the energy companies themselves. But usually there's a lag. Usually the exploration companies kind of go first, and these guys lag behind and go second. So this very well could break to the upside. I just don't have a clear break for you. This one is a little bit more risky, buying it right here before the break. Oil States International, OIS, this thing looks very good. I kind of cut off the bottom of COVID down here. I think it's almost basically has gone nowhere since it's basically gone back to where it would have been without COVID happening. And the COVID's got the same type of setup as SM Energy, CDEV, and all those other ones. It's pulling on up, and there's not much resistance till up here. So it could get to maybe 12 or 13 bucks, I think. And then the possibility of breaking this downtrend. That would be a big break and a game changer. And if you saw over here, this is a massive move all the way up through this entire section here. So this is coming from a very big, deep bear market here. Lots of value. And remember, I haven't done the fundamental analysis. I'm just saying in terms of price off of its highs. Drillquip is another energy service company. It looks like it's breaking out right now. So this would be... Now remember, these didn't fall as fast. They're kind of taking their time, and I have a feeling that these are going to mimic, on the right-hand side, this type of move. So you're probably going to get this longer-term bull-shaped pattern. But, it's 38 bucks. It goes all the way to 100 and something bucks. That's a pretty good move. Here's NOV. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's just NOV Incorporated. And you can see this pattern. It's still right going to the corner of this pattern here. So that one could be a good one once it breaks. This is NBR, Neighbors Industries. Looks like I drew this where it hit a lot of times, kind of in between, and I'm getting this downtrend here by the tip. So it did break that downtrend there. And obviously there's going to be another downtrend. It's going to be a little bit steeper. That looks something like that. So either way you draw this, it's about to break right now. It's breaking out of that larger pattern, and it already broke the nice tight one. So it's right there. This one might be a good one to look into if you like it. Precision Drilling Corp, looks like that one's breaking out. It's peeking its head, doing a little turtle head. That one would be a nice one to look into. Sandridge Energy, another one that broke its big downtrend just recently. This guy could run. Doesn't look bad. Goodrich Petroleum breaking its recently broke out of its pattern. Little kind of back test and flinging higher. It did one of those jumps off the top of the ceiling. Very nice. Grand Tierra Energy if you guys own this, I own it. Draw the trend line down. It's ready, trying to break out of here. So give it some time. Once it breaks, it might break through, back test, and then we'll see it jump. Meg Energy, MEGEF, which is an energy company. This thing's got this big old basing pattern here. And when it breaks this pattern, I mean, this could be a fun one to ride because it's pretty steep after it. You could see this 747 go all the way up to, $34 or so. So that might be a nice one if it breaks. Enerplus Corporation, this one looks pretty good. It's peaking out. This one's got a little bit more sideways action over on the side here. It's not as steep, so I don't expect this to necessarily just break, make a break and move higher substantially. So I do that a lot. I look at the left-hand side and then I mirror it to the right-hand side, and usually the way it falls is the way that it goes up. Usually, that's how I find some of these companies. And I know that there's a lot of short sellers in there. I know that they've got debt in some of these companies, maybe not these energy service ones. I don't know as much about them, but those exploration ones that I went into, that's why they got sold off so hard. And usually when they get sold off hard, they can fling right back if the price comes back. And that's, we were lucky enough to chart it out, to see these patterns, to see it across the entire sector, and to see oil start to gather its strength. And I said, it's go time. It's time to make some money. So I invested in a lot of those companies in the beginning of this presentation. The energy service companies, I don't think will be as explosive. Some of them do have good potential. I didn't put TTI in here. I own that. I bought it at 50 cents. In fact, maybe I still have videos way back then because I was posting it in my updates of TTI, and I said I bought it here at 50 cents. And you can go back and find that if you want to. But that was one that had a lot of debt, and it was a little bit more risky. But I put some money on it. Screw it. I put a good amount in that in one of the accounts. But the other one I didn't put too much. But I had a pretty good stake, and I haven't sold. It's way up. It's way up. I had a pretty good stake. So yeah, that's good. If you guys, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.